Everything inside here is small, too big stuff up.
Alrighty.
You got to kind of twist to get in. Here you go.
Woo. Woo. All right, say hi, Jake.
Good morning.
Just so you know, I'm fitting the part.
Thanks again for joining us today as we bring you another cool car with a fascinating history. Today we're bringing you a 1924 Ford Model T, of which the Ford Motor Company sold over 15 million cars between 1909 and 1927. It truly is the car that put America on wheels. But of all those millions of T's, only one was personalized by its owner using hand-woven wicker all over it. We'll have the owner of this sweet T fill you in on all the details.
One of the things that I usually do to get attention is put that up. That's called a fat man steering wheel. Hi, I'm Jake Kluch. This is my 1924 Model T Ford that we call the basket case for obvious reasons. Car was covered in wicker when it was new or nearly new. It's from Menominee, Michigan, and Menominee is the home of Lloyd Flanders today. It was Lloyd Manufacturing then. And Marshall Lloyd and Company then made wicker baby buggies, lawn furniture, chairs for lighter than air craft, and that type of stuff. So we were really not sure why this car was covered in wicker, but we think that it was done as a perk or a promotional item. And we know that the wicker was all factory type materials. All of these patterns are the same patterns that you'll see on Lloyd Flanders furniture even today. And the beading around that holds the wicker in place is also what you'll see on their baby buggies, and all the forms are very similar to the rest of their materials. So we're pretty sure that it was done with materials from the factory and that it was done by factory workers. We just don't know why or who the original owner was. The wicker's all in original condition. We've cleaned it up and painted it. There's a small section on the running board on the other side that I had to reweave because there's only one door. And that was a feature of the Model T Roadsters for $265, which is what this car cost new. Henry didn't give you a whole lot. He gave you a soft top instead of a hard top, no windows, and only one door. So everybody had to get in on that side. And that's why the Fat Man steering wheel is such a handy accessory, because if you're a little robust, you can just slide it up out of the way, get inside the car, and then it locks back down in, kind of the early version of tilt steering. And because there was so many Model Ts made, there were a lot of companies that all they did was make accessories for Model Ts. So this one has the Fat Man steering wheel. It has a locking steering column that was an accessory. The wind wings are an accessory. This was a compression release that basically was just a gate valve on the exhaust system, and that was an accessory. It has a rim wind clock that I've got being repaired right now. That was an accessory. And the GPS is an accessory. The headlight lenses are an accessory, and these actually were not on the car when it came into my family. I bought those and put them on just because they were kind of cool. So The car is all original body metal is there except for two places. On the hood, they would have they cut out the fins where the Model T would have vents here and on each side so that they had a level surface to work with. And then on the back of the car, it had it would have had a turtleback, which was just a deck with a trunk lid on it. And they took that off so that they could weave the wicker all the way around the back of the car, and they put this pickup style bed on it and then put the extra basket on the back. And that's the rest of the reason why we call it the basket case. We're not, like I said, we're not sure who the original owner was, but we think that it was probably whoever SCK was, because that's the initials that are on this door. And I went up to Menominee and lived there for a week doing some research on the car. And because Marshall Lloyd was really influential in the community, there's a lot of records left. And because the company's still in business, there's a lot of records left. So I went through those and I looked for somebody with the initials SK, SCK, some combination. And there isn't anybody on the senior leadership team, the board of directors, the shop foreman, that had those initials, not even Marshall Lloyd's pallbearers. Did anybody have those initials or anything like that? So I went through the phone books from 1924 to 1935 for Menominee, Marinette, Wisconsin, which is the neighbor city across the river, and Stevensville, Stevenson, Michigan. So I looked for SK, SCK, some combination thereof that worked at Lloyd Manufacturing and found none. So the mystery of the basket case is still unsolved as far as the original owner. But my family got it in 1934. My grandmother's brother, John Pinkowski, registered the car then, and he and his wife Martha drove the car. We have pictures of them with suitcases on it, so they drove it as their daily driver. And they gave it to their son, Ray Pinkowski, when John died in 1951, and then when Raymond died in 1991, my mom and her sister were the only remaining relatives, and my aunt didn't want to have anything to do with old cars, so Dad got the car then and cleaned it up and painted it, had the bright work re-chromed, and his goal was to get invited to the Old Car Festival at Greenfield Village, and we finally did that in 1993 and went every year until Dad passed in 97. And then when Ford had their 100th anniversary in 2003, because they'd seen the car at the Old Car Festival, they asked us to be the 1924 car at the 100th anniversary, and we, of course, did that. And it was that was a great honor, and I know Dad would have been thrilled about that. And since then, we've been to a lot of shows in the Midwest. Since we moved here to Arizona in 2020, we've been to a few car shows and got a lot of attention because it's not nearly as well known out here. And we were the featured car in the Model T Ford Club International Model T Times once, and took all of those pictures and that history about the car out here. It's the original block. I had the engine rebuilt after my incident before the Ford 100th anniversary. And the only thing that's been changed on the engine from original is there's an external oil line now from the transmission, because the guy who rebuilt it knows that the oil system is not super reliable because it doesn't have an oil pump, and they put in that extra oil line on all the engines they rebuilt now. So other than that, it's all stock. Oh, good. It starts so easy. Sometimes, because the ignition system is live as soon as you turn on the key,
Yeah.
if the cylinders are primed, if you've got a cylinder with fuel in it, as soon as you turn on the key, it'll start.
Oh.
Model T aficionados call those free starts because you don't have to use the starter, but it has to stop in just the right place. This is the accelerator. Between low and high is neutral, which you can either do just by feel, or if you pull this up halfway, you're neutral, which is where you start off. And the right pedal is the brake. And the brake in the Model T doesn't affect the tires, it affects the transmission. So all it does is stop the drive shaft from turning. It doesn't actually affect the wheels directly.
Well, thanks, Jake, for sharing your incredible Model T with our viewers and subscribers today. This channel is called If This Car Could Talk, and your car would definitely tell a very interesting tale. Let us know in the comments if you have any Model T memories and what you think of Jake's 100-year-old Roadster. Next week, we'll be bringing you coverage of the East Valley Cruisers weekly car show. They usually get several hundred cars of all descriptions, and we always find interesting vehicles to spotlight. See you then. Thanks for watching.